Okay, so these are the first set of homework problems in homework 3. These are the ones from section 5.3. And the first two problems, 12 and 14, are asking you to determine if two events are independent, okay? So for 12, we look at the two events: you collect Social Security benefits and you are over the age 65, and we want to know, are those independent or not? Well, is being over 65 going to change the likelihood that you collect Social Security benefits? Well, yes, because almost everyone over the age of 65 collects Social Security, right? So the answer here is that these are not independent. Okay. Being 65 definitely affects the probability that you're going to collect Social Security benefits. Okay, so the second question is looking at the two events that you're going to suffer from diabetes and you're a registered Democrat. We want to know, are those independent? And the answer is yes, because one of these conditions does not affect the likelihood that you're going to have the other. Okay, and again, most of these are common sense. One way you can do it is you can ask yourself, are registered Democrats more likely to suffer from diabetes? Well, obviously no. If you become a registered Democrat, are you all of a sudden more likely to have diabetes? No. Okay. Okay, the next two problems are looking at independence again, but this is more or less a word problem, okay? So here we have two different intersections. We have an intersection at 5th and Main, and we have an intersection at 7th and Polk. And what we're told is the probability that a randomly chosen car at each of these intersections will run the red light, right? So the probability here at 7th and Polk is 11.7%. And the probability at 5th and Main is 9.2%. Okay. And we're told that we pick a car at each intersection, okay? We pick a car at random at 5th and Main. So here's the car we're going to look at 5th and Main. And we pick another car at 7th and Polk. Okay, and we want to ask some questions. So the first we want to know is the probability that the car will not run a red light at 5th and Main. Well, really we're going to use the fact that the events running the red light and not running the red light are opposites of one another. So their probabilities have to add to 100%, right? So we know therefore that the probability that won't run a red light at 5th and Main is going to be what? It's going to be 91.8%, because these two probabilities, they have to add up to 100%, right? Now we want the probability that neither one will run the red light, okay? So we're going to use the fact that these two events are independent, okay? So our answer is going to be that it's the probability that it won't run a red light at 5th and Main and the other car won't run the red light at 7th and Polk. Okay. And because these two events are independent, right? In other words, if the one car runs a red light way over here, it's not going to affect the other car, right? So because these two things are independent, their probabilities multiply. Okay. So we already showed that this probability here is 0.918. And the other one we can figure out, right? Because if the probability here is 11.7, this must be what? This must be 88.3% probability that it won't. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that. And we work that out. And let's see what we get here. And when we compute this out to the 5th decimal place, we get 0.81059. I'm going to round that off. And as a decimal, this would be 81.06%. Okay, so there's the problems on independence. And I'll probably give you some sort of problem like that on the quiz and on the exams.